Axel Rudakubana, the young killer from Southport, has now been officially designated as the most dangerous inmate in the United Kingdom. At just 18 years old, he is being held at Belmarsh, a high-security prison in South London, under extreme isolation measures. He is only allowed to leave his cell under very specific circumstances and always under the escort of 5 officers in full riot gear. He is currently under investigation for a new violent incident inside the prison, in which he allegedly threw boiling water at a prison officer, leaving the victim seriously injured. This is not an isolated episode. Since his arrival, Rudakubana has consistently displayed violent and aggressive behavior towards staff, which has led to a complete ban on his access to technology, educational materials, and human contact. What's most disturbing is his criminal background. During the Southport attack, he brutally murdered several children at a dance hall, leaving others seriously wounded. The incident shocked the nation. Furthermore, during his arrest, authorities discovered dangerous materials in his home, including ricin and an Al-Qaeda training manual. Although the government insists he is not linked to terrorism, these discoveries have raised serious questions about his intentions and ideological leanings. His continued incarceration comes at a significant cost to the state. 5 officers are required to monitor him around the clock, placing a heavy financial burden on the prison system. This has prompted some commentators to question whether it makes sense to keep someone like him alive, given the severity of his crimes and the extreme level of supervision required. The case has reignited the debate over capital punishment in the UK. While most politicians remain firmly opposed to its reinstatement, various polls suggest that a majority of the British public would support its use in extreme cases. Supporters of the death penalty argue that when guilt is undeniable, as it is in Rudakubana's case, and the crimes committed are unimaginably horrific, the harshest possible sentence may be justified. There is also the issue of the future to consider. This young man could easily live another 60 years under state custody, meaning decades of public resources would be dedicated solely to his containment. If he were to fall ill and require hospital treatment, the level of security needed would be immense, adding further costs and complications. In light of all this, some security experts have reconsidered their stance. Those who once opposed capital punishment now acknowledge that there are instances where the harm done is so irreversible, keeping the perpetrator alive no longer makes sense. They argue that had the police intervened during the attack itself, Rudakubana would almost certainly have been shot dead on the spot, and that perhaps this would have been the most reasonable outcome. Still, it is widely accepted that the UK is unlikely to bring back the death penalty anytime soon. Despite widespread public support, the political class in Westminster continues to regard it as unacceptable. There is a growing disconnect between ordinary citizens and their elected officials, not only on this issue, but also on matters such as illegal immigration, where public sentiment and government action appear to be moving in opposite directions. Ultimately, the case of Axel Rudakubana highlights not just the threat posed by one individual, but also raises urgent ethical, financial, and societal questions that the country can no longer afford to ignore. The pressing question remains, what do we do with someone whose very existence poses a constant threat, an overwhelming financial burden, and a deep moral affront to society? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with the most important stories across the UK. We'll see you in the next video.